Hi, my name is Frida Sten, and this is my book review of Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I am very sure that is not how you pronounce her last name, but it's the best I can do. Now, as you may have noticed, it is currently September, a month in autumn, not summer. Outside, it is currently 9 degrees Celsius, which, if you don't use the metric system, is shit as cold. Now, I had a little goal this summer to read as many summer romances as possible. That goal has not turned out well, considering I only read one and I didn't finish it till early autumn. Better late than never, I guess. Now, I do not like talking to the camera, so instead you will get to watch me make some summer artworks. I have already made them, so I guess you're not going to want it. Anyway, yeah, I am sure you are disappointed that you will not get to spend more time looking at this stunning face. But I am sure this is best for all of us. Bye. The premise for this book is that a guy whose ex-girlfriend just ended up with his best friend goes on Reddit to talk about how he's cursed and that all of his exes meet their soulmate shortly after dating him. The post goes viral and he gets a message from a girl with the same problem. They come up with a scheme to date each other, and then when they break up, their curses will cancel each other out and they will find their soulmate. It's a really fun premise that is executed well. I have read over 700 romance novels. I've seen most things a minimum of 10 times. I am rarely surprised, but this book just kept surprising me, showing me things I have never seen in a romance novel before. There are two types of books in this world. The ones that are pure entertainment and the ones that are trying to say something more. In the romance genre, most books are just there to entertain. And that is absolutely fine. I love being entertained. But my favorite romances are always those who could stand on their own as its own book without the romance. This is one of those books. This book tackles parental abandonment and the effects that has on the child. It explores forgiveness and resentment and the difficulties in breaking patterns. The romance was sweet, but it was the drama I stayed for. I really didn't think the book was really very summery. They didn't really do any summer activities and it rained all the time. For a romance novel to be a romance novel, the couple has to get together at the end. So there's never a question if that will happen. What I was really interested in was if the main girl's mother was going to break her disastrous pattern and become a better person. But I'll talk more about that in the spoiler part of this video. I really like the theme of forgiveness and empathy. The main girl has a lot of empathy for the people who make mistakes, and tries to always give people the benefit of the doubt and see things from their point of view. It was lovely when she helped the main guy connect with his mother after she committed a crime. But it was just sad when she gives so many chances to a woman who just keeps on burning her. There are a lot of heavy stuff in this book, and the main girl has a lot of trauma. Still, I don't think it's too dark for a person who empathizes hard with the characters to get through without completely ruining their mood. There's so much sweetness and funny moments that the dark stuff doesn't feel so dark. All in all, a great book I'd recommend to anyone who likes romance. Justin and Emma are soulmates and just have great chemistry. Now for the spoilers, where I will freely talk about everything I liked about this book. So, Amber, Emma's mother, a horrible mother and an equally horrible human. To me, it was obvious from the start that Amber has undiagnosed bipolar disorder, and I don't understand how these medical professionals haven't raised that as a possibility. The author never gives Amber an official diagnosis, but if you describe a character with phrases like manic and depressive episodes, you've all but confirmed it. The real question is whether she has any other hidden diagnosis. Probably, but I don't feel qualified to speak about that. Amber is also a textbook example of a person not handling the diagnosis bipolar disorder well. As someone who has struggled with mania, I can tell you, there is no such thing as control once you are manic. The only thing you can do is try to prevent yourself from becoming manic in the first place. Amber does nothing to prevent her manic episodes. She is not entitled to excuses or explanations. She is a grown woman doing nothing to minimize her destructive tendencies. When she's first introduced, she tells Emma she started therapy and is trying to better herself. Emma and I believe that maybe this time is different. Maybe she's changed. But the therapy turns out to be some spiritual healing stuff. In other words, complete crap. You can't use crystals to ward off manic episodes. That's just not how things work. And Amber's treatment of Emma is awful and neglectful as always. But that's the thing. The book sets up the story as people who make mistakes can do better. Amber's boyfriend is a rich doctor who everyone says is an asshole. The doctor admits that his response to fighting with his girlfriend used to be hooking up with another girl to punish his girlfriend. But he doesn't do that this time because he's trying to do better. There are so many characters in this book trying to break patterns, and some of them seems to be succeeding, so you think, maybe Amber will too. But then we find out just how cruel Amber has been to Emma. Emma's grandparents are not dead as Amber told her. Amber has a large family that took in the son she had at 15. But Amber let Emma go into foster care where she was starved rather than give her to her loving grandparents. Why? Oh, because if she put Emma with them, Amber would not have been able to take her out like a little doll and play with her whenever she felt like it. Amber is garbage. Disgusting garbage. She doesn't care about Emma in the slightest and doesn't deserve the love Emma gives her. Like I said, the romance is very sweet. I like how funny it is, and they have such great chemistry together. Justin represents everything Emma is afraid of. He is stuck and will be stuck in that place for the next 6 years. Emma knows she can't walk out on those kids. So she knows that Justin has to be long-term, and she doesn't do long-term. The reason Justin is stuck with his siblings for the next 6 years is because his mother stole from a charity and was sentenced the maximum term you can be sentenced for that. He resents her and has barely talked to her since it happened. And here comes Emma with her, if you can choose empathy over anger, always do. I don't remember the exact quote, but that was the gist of it. Emma starts painting his mother as someone who was depressed after her husband died and was trying to stay afloat emotionally, not financially, by trying to keep her children's spirit up with Disneylands and things like that. At the end of their conversation, Justin wishes he'd been there for his mom. We actually never find out if what Emma described is what happened, but I think the author is telling us that's what happened. I really liked Justin's mom. That scene when she and her friend got banned from Uber because they tried to rescue a raccoon was so funny. And I loved when Emma talked about her time as a nurse in a women's prison, and how the prisoners were so nice and awesome and friends for life, and his mom just gets filled with hope that maybe things won't be so bad as she's thought. Emma spreads hope wherever she goes, and it's so uplifting. I also really like Emma's interactions with Justin's teenage sister and the bond they share. It's really like a big sister taking care of her little sister going through a tough time, helping her with hair dye when she got lice, telling her, no, lice is actually like clean hair, so it's not that you're dirty. And she, like I said, she just spreads hope wherever she goes, and I love it. I never really liked Maddie, but I don't know why, because she was a great friend and had Emma's back no matter what happened. Ride or die. I really don't understand why I wouldn't like her. I just didn't. My only real problem with this book is that it's called Just for the Summer, and yet there's almost nothing summery about it. It's really misleading, actually. Amber is not a positive representation of bipolar disorder, but it's also not an inaccurate representation of what someone with my diagnosis who isn't taking medication and isn't going to therapy looks like. All in all, an amazing book, easily 5 stars.